What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I am so excited to share why I love JRPGs so much. As many of you know, my channel focuses heavily on JRPGs, and they're the games I connect with the most. I do play other mainstream titles, but JRPGs hold a special place in my heart. There are several reasons for this, which I'll dive into in this video. But first, a huge thank you for everyone who helped this channel reach 5,000 subscribers. Your support and comments mean the world to me, and I love hearing about all of your favorite games, interacting with you in the comments, and those of you that have joined my Discord, I really enjoy interacting with you as well. I ran a poll recently, and the majority voted for this topic right here, so here we are. Now let's explore why I think JRPGs are the best genre in games. So why do I like JRPGs? Have I tried other games? What is it about this genre that grabs me? Well, honestly, I look for a lot of very specific things in the games that I play, and JRPGs kind of just meet all the requirements. They tick all the boxes for my favorite things in gaming. So I'll give a few quick reasons on why I love this genre. First, and probably foremost, is the grand scale sense of adventure you get with these games. I mean, games like Octopath Traveler, Final Fantasy X, Dragon Quest VIII and XI, the Persona series, I mean, these left some seriously amazing memories for me and often force the player to make decisions that will have you perplexed. I mean, I learned a lot of life lessons from JRPG stories, believe it or not. The just grand scale of some of these games is amazing and unmatched in my opinion. Next is definitely the anime art style and presentation. I love all the different art styles in JRPGs. I think these days we get so hung up on games just looking as realistic as can be, but for me and my tastes, I love a good, unique art style that stands the test of time. There's something remarkable about playing through a game with an art style that the artist identifies with. You get a truly unique experience that will hold up for years and years to come. And finally, it's the soundtrack. I mean, some of my all-time favorite music, full stop, are soundtracks to my favorite JRPGs. Some of my favorites are Xenoblade Chronicles. Both Octopath Traveler games have phenomenal soundtracks. Final Fantasy VII for obvious reasons. And just to throw a more recent one in there, it's not really a JRPG, but it has some RPG elements. Stellar Blade had an incredible soundtrack that definitely blew me away. I mean, the music can really take the overall experience to the next level, and I love this genre for that. Now to give you a little bit of history, some backstory, I started playing games very young and kicked things off with Mario and Zelda. Once I got a bit older, my uncle introduced me to JRPGs, and I became obsessed with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII was my first JRPG, and then I moved on to The Legend of Dragoon, which is why you'll see it on quite a few of my lists. It is a nostalgia thing for me. Is it the greatest JRPG ever? Probably not. But The Legend of Dragoon definitely holds a special place in my heart. These games were larger than life to me. They required so much more of me than the typical platformer or puzzle solver, and they were the key factor into my obsession with JRPGs and games in general today. The story, the characters, the music, it all came together and just made for an incredible experience that I could get completely lost in. My uncle, who I was very close to at the time, introduced me to JRPGs and helped show me how to consume them. See, there's no wrong way to play a game, but back in the day, there weren't extensive YouTube videos breaking down what makes a game great. And as a kid, having that guidance to understand what I was playing and the lore of the games and discuss them with friends and family was a huge factor into why I love these games so much today. Fast forward to now, and there's so many options and so many variations of the JRPG genre that make it to where if you just only want to play JRPGs, you'll have an endless list of games to play that all feel dramatically different and have their own identity and personality. Some of the issues I have with some of the huge AAA mainstream games is they can all feel very similar, pulling innovation from one another and iterating just slightly in a different setting to create a new experience. And as I got older playing these, I felt really burnt out. JRPGs, however, often take risks for better or worse, and at times, we get something completely unique and unmatched in design and mechanics. JRPGs often create emotional connections between the player and the characters. The relationships and bonds you form with the characters make the story even more impactful. I've laughed, I've cried, and celebrated with them, making the experience incredibly memorable. This genre typically invests a lot of time in developing their characters. Protagonists and supporting characters are given rich backstories, distinct personalities, and personal growth arcs. This depth allows players to see the character as more than just a digital avatar. A lot of the time, we're just creating another version of ourselves in the game, but JRPGs do such an amazing job of helping you connect with the different characters and the stories that are built for these games. They become relatable individuals with whom you can empathize with. When a character faces a challenge or experiences joy, players feel those emotions alongside them. That, paired with the length of time you spend with these characters, adds to the investment you feel in the story and its outcome. One of my favorite things in JRPGs is many of them tackle universal themes such as coming of age, overcoming adversity, and many other relatable things that many of us will encounter in some respect in our own lives. These themes resonate deeply with us, and as they reflect our life experiences and emotions, when a character triumphs over their struggles or makes a significant personal sacrifice, it can feel incredibly satisfying and personal to me. And this is the reason why I connect with so many different JRPGs and why in my videos you hear me gush over some of the classics and even some of the more modern day games. Is this genre is doing something that other genres don't really put the time and effort into. Another factor is into why I enjoy these games so much is player agency. This is also super important to me and is a main factor in my favorite games, and JRPGs have been doing this for a long time. My favorite games allow me to make choices that affect the story and character relationships. I mean, this agency and freedom can enhance that emotional investment that I spoke of earlier because I feel responsible for the outcomes of their decisions. The sense of freedom makes the emotional highs and lows even more impactful as I see the direct results of my actions and the creative ways in which the developers handled them. Now, while we're here, I do think it's important for this topic in this video that I quickly go over some of my favorite games in each subgenre that really connected with me. So real quick, let's go over a few of my favorites. For action JRPGs, I've got to go Nier Automata. This really was a unique and incredible experience, and what it does well, I don't feel like any other game has matched it. It's complicated in its story, timeline, and characters, but that complexity is what makes it so interesting, and the action mechanics are incredibly polished. To me, there's not another action experience like it out there. Many have tried, but can't match it. For classic JRPGs, my favorite has to go to Final Fantasy VI. I was older when I went back and played it, and I feel that was mostly a good thing. Being able to take in the story and connect with the characters was key to my enjoyment of this game. There truly is nothing like it, and I can imagine it was absolutely revolutionary for its time. Now, my favorite tactics JRPG probably goes to Unicorn Overlord, and this could be recency bias because there's some amazing classics out there, but I don't recall a tactics game consuming me in the way that this one did. It has its roots in more classic games, but does some really amazing, completely original stuff, and I can't get over how addictive it is to play. I love this game so much. Now, when it comes to modern turn-based games, it's gotta be Persona 5 Royal. I have a hard time thinking that there's a better turn-based JRPG out there that exists. Persona 5 Royal is likely the most fun I've had in a game as an adult and is why I've done 3 playthroughs and put hundreds of hours into this game. I love the story, the writing, the characters, the art and animation, the combat. To me, no game is really perfect, but this is as close as it gets. It does all of the things I mentioned earlier with decisions and player agency and connecting with characters and story and being able to relate when you see how the story and writing develops over time. Persona 5 Royal is about as good as it gets. Now, for completely unique, out of nowhere experiences in JRPGs, my favorite would have to go to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The reason for this is because it breaks all the rules I spoke of earlier, and what I love about JRPGs, it takes the stuff that makes mainstream AAA games popular, like a modern day open world, GTA like game pacing, high budget animation and cutscenes, and then puts a bunch of JRPG mechanics and flair into it, the humor, the characters, the combat being turn-based. I mean, it feels like a JRPG, but does so many interesting things. There's so many full-fledged gaming concepts, in one package, and it's just wild to experience. If you go into this game blind, you will get lost in what Infinite Wealth offers. All these are amazing games, and if you've watched my channel and seen my lists of great JRPGs, you know there's so many amazing games out there to play. I love the genre not only for the games and their creators, but the stories and lore associated with each experience. The amazing thing about video games is that we each have our own opinions on these experiences. They all resonate with us differently. Since I've started with this channel, I have absolutely enjoyed reading everyone's comments. I enjoy my ranking videos and seeing where other people have their games ranked. It's always eye-opening, and on occasion, it will force me to go back and revisit a game I have a negative opinion on and kind of rethink it and look at it in a different light. There's a lot of genres out there, like I said before, and each person is different and they like different things. But JRPGs, they are the games that I sit down and get super excited to play. Well, that's it, everyone. That's why I love JRPGs. Please let me know in the comments below why you love the genre. If in fact you do love JRPGs, you're welcome to join my Discord. We talk about JRPGs all the time in there. It's growing. If you have any questions for me, or you want to reach out or have input on some of the content I made, definitely join the Discord because I'm active in there all the time. I'll leave a link in the description below, and until next time, I'm out.